I'm guessing you're pretty good at art and tattooing's caught your attention. Tattooing is the best way of monetizing your artistic abilities, and you can and you will carve out a long, fulfilling career in tattooing. But the hardest part is getting your foot through the door. And I know because I tried and failed miserably, right? And what I've done since is I trained myself, I opened multiple studios, I've trained 11 apprentices up to becoming full-time tattoo artists who are all killing it now. Most of them have gone on to opening their own studios all around the world and even training their own apprentices now. So what I'm gonna do for you, so you don't have to experience all the misery and the no's that I got, is I'm gonna walk you through, I'm gonna hold your hand right up to the front door of that studio, I'm gonna open it and get your foot straight through that door. I'm going to show you how to make the sickest portfolio. I'm going to make sure that you are memorable when you walk in and walk out of there. I'm going to give you all the essential knowledge that you need at this stage that you're at so you can walk through that door confidently, and the people that interview you would be stupid to say no. Yeah? Let's go. So the first step, the most obvious thing, is a portfolio. So many people fall at this first hurdle. So I want to see what you're made of. You're going to need to bring me something, present me with your best work right now. Now, I've seen many different types of portfolios come through the studio over the last 12 years, and there's no rule. They're all good because what they do is they give me, as a mentor, a window into what you're about as an artist, what you're about as a person, how much effort you put in to this phase and how much effort you put into your work. Let's talk about a portfolio that you're going to present. I want a window into your world and your current abilities. So when you come here, you're going to need to show me something. I want to see what you're made of right now. Now, there's many different types of portfolios that I've seen over the years. I've seen people bring photo books of digital photographs of their work, which have been put into a photo book made off a website, which is great. And I've also seen scrapbook styles with sketches in and annotations where I get to delve into their mind because they've explained exactly what's going on the page. And then I've also seen people bring fully framed oil paintings in, just one of them, and they got the apprenticeship. There's no one rule here on how to present it, provided you are presenting your best work and you're presenting it really well. Now, quickly, I've seen people in the past that didn't get the opportunity simply because they didn't present it well. They might have brought scruffy drawings. They might have brought drawings that didn't look that good with no explanation of this is how I used to draw and I need to improve this. They've just presented me subpar drawings. It's the least amount of work that they've done, and then they're not going to get the opportunity. They fail. I, as a mentor, I'm pretty busy. I'm still tattooing. I've got my own clients. I've got a studio to run. I've got artists to manage. If you come and bring me a really simple thing to look through, like I'm a really big fan of the digital photo book because I can just sift through it like that. It's nice, clean imagery. I get a good vibe for who you are and the standard that you're up to and how much time investment that's going to take for me to get you up to the standard of my studio. If you're not already there, it's a very low barrier. And that's good for me. On the day, as your mentor, I much prefer to see a tangible item in my hands. Another great thing to include in a portfolio, if you have been doing it, is fake skins. If you've been practicing on fake tattoo skins at home, what an amazing window for me into your world to see where you're up to with actual tattooing. You're using tattoo machines at home and not on real people, by the way. Don't do that. And I get to see your needle marks. I get to see your techniques. You get to explain to me how you've been using them, how you found it, using the machine, and it's a great conversation. And again, I get to judge what the time investment is going to be in you to get you to becoming a full-time artist. And tattooing on fake skins puts you way ahead of most other applicants. Now, although I would like you to present your work to me in a portfolio, I would like to see what your social media looks like. I'm certainly going to do some digging before you get there on the day, because if your portfolio is your CV to me on the day, your social media is your CV to the world. This is a place where you're going to be attracting future clients. This is a place where if you get the opportunity, I'm going to be sending clients to check you out. So I'm going to be putting my name to you. So I need to make sure that your social media is nice and tidy. So just be conscious of how your social media portfolio is also presented. Now, before presenting a portfolio to a mentor, review it a few times, look over it, make sure that it's right, because the chances are you're going to build this thing and you think, sweet, that's done. And then the day after, you might look at it and think, this piece is not actually as good as that piece, so I'm going to remove that one. Don't worry about having lots of stuff in there. I would rather see 2 absolute bangers that communicate exactly what kind of style you're into, what kind of style you'd like to get into, as opposed to 20 and the average is then dropped because it's just only those 2 that are the absolute bangers. Do you understand? So review it a few times and make sure that it is presenting your best work and it's presenting it in the best way. Now, there's something really valuable that I think that you could present. I'm stealing this from a corporate world. I feel like a covering letter would be really interesting because you on the day, you might be a bit nervous. You might not be able to portray yourself in the best possible light because maybe we're on a short time scale. So I think like a covering letter where you speak about yourself in depth, what your goals are, how much value you'd like to add to my business, how much you love tattooing, how much you've always wanted to do it. The truth, be genuine. This would be a great thing to leave behind for me as well as your portfolio so I can read it and get a real good picture of who you are as a person and what your intentions are in the future. And if you're unsure what to write, I have attached a PDF to this course, a template, something that I would love to see and love to read that you can just fill in. To finish off the portfolio section, a couple of do's and don'ts. Do present your best work. Do present it the best you possibly can. Don't do the least amount of work, which is just sending me a link to your Instagram. That is what hundreds of people have done here, and none of them have been successful. Don't include too many pieces of work. Like I said, quality over quantity. I'd rather see 2 absolute bangers that are your best rather than 20 that's just an average. And do review it all. Make sure that it is your best. Sleep on it. Review it a couple of times until you are fully happy before coming into the studio and presenting it to me. Getting your foot through the door of a studio is about standing out. Loads of people apply, but the ones who stand out and who are memorable are usually the ones that get the opportunity, even though the studios might not have even been looking for an apprentice. Something that will make you really stand out is having prior essential knowledge of the tattoo process. Now, the reason this will make you stand out is because, trust me, in my experience, nobody has ever come with this. If you can understand what a machine is, what a needle is, what they look like, how they behave, what the environment looks like, how a tattoo business was to operate, and a really important one, what kind of wound a tattoo is, then what that makes me feel as a mentor is that you are A, proactive, B, I'm not going to have to spend as much time and energy on you because you are proactive. You're going to do a lot of this stuff yourself in the background, and that this apprenticeship is going to move quickly and efficiently, and you're going to be an ideal candidate for this apprenticeship. So first of all, you need to understand that tattooing is a clinical environment. Like when you're going to a dentist, it has to be clinical and clean. There's certain things that have to be in place for us as tattoo studios to achieve a license by the local authorities. What I've done for you is I've attached a PDF that's got the outlook of a clinical environment and what is required for a premises to actually obtain its tattoo license. The reason it's important to have a clinical environment for tattooing is because we're breaking the skin, we're causing a wound. We have to protect that customer at all costs. We need to make sure there's no cross-contamination. Cross-contamination is one of the most serious parts of learning the tattoo process. The reason we wear gloves, the reason why things are single use, and the reason why everything that isn't single use gets wrapped in film and discarded into the appropriate waste bins. So please study the PDF so you know this basic knowledge, so that when your tattoo mentor starts to talk about it, you can say, I've actually researched this, I'm slightly familiar with it, but I am looking forward to seeing it in real life. Other essential knowledge extends towards your equipment. Again, I've attached a PDF that's full of every piece of equipment that you're going to see on every single tattoo station, from machines to needles to rinse cups to soaps. It's all in there. So study it. I've included pictures so you can take a look, see what it looks like, and familiarize yourself with the terminologies used for such equipment. What's also important with essential knowledge is wound care. This is very, very important. We tattooists are inflicting a wound on another human being, and then allowing them to walk out. It is our duty, our care, to make sure that we educate ourselves and educate our clients with how to protect such a wound, so that not only the tattoo heals perfectly, but that person is safe, because an infection is no laughing matter. Infections can lead to sepsis and serious problems, not to mention the pain, discomfort, and just the general interruption on someone's life should they get an infected tattoo and then need to take medication for it. The tattoo will also heal really badly. We will need to touch it up, and even if it was their fault, they did something wrong, I think it still puts a dent in our reputation if one of our customers has got an infection. So please study the wound care PDF that I've attached to this course, so you can fully understand what you as a tattoo artist will be doing to another human. So those things are really important for you to study and understand before going into a tattoo apprenticeship. I think it does give you the edge over somebody else, but don't go in there cocky, say, no, it's all right, I know everything. Just say, yes, I've actually looked into this and I know parts of it, and then begin a discussion with them. Oh, they might say, what do you know about that? And you say, well, I've actually learned that a tattoo is a wound and that we go this far under the skin and this and that and the other. And in my opinion, they can only really respect you for actually caring about it so much that you've spent a lot of time doing your research. So after the clinical environment, after the equipment, and after the wound care, I think comes the customer journey. I think it's really important for a tattoo artist to know every stage of their customer's journey. And if you, as an apprentice prospect, understand what it takes for a customer to become sat in your chair, again, that gives you the edge over all the competition out there that's trying to get that opportunity that you're after. If you've had a tattoo in the past, you are familiar with the customer journey. You know that it starts when a customer seeks you out, usually on social media, or they get told about you. They find your social media profile or your website or your email address and they inquire. After that, they then meet the tattoo artist. Once booking in, they get to have the tattoo experience, because getting a tattoo is an experience. You're coming in an experience getting a tattoo of somebody. And then the tattoo that you get for the rest of your life, when you look at it, you're going to remember that experience. So understand that getting a tattoo is not just a quick transaction, it is an all-round experience. Once you've had that, it's the care that the tattooist gives you afterwards. Aftercare is not just a product that you're given, it's the care that you're given afterwards by the person who's inflicted the wound on you. And it's a massive part of the entire customer experiences. Do they care once they've been paid and you've left? And it's something that I put a lot of emphasis on. I say to my clients, I'm here for you until you don't need me anymore. And that gesture goes a long way. Now I've said all those things, if you've had a tattoo, I want you to just think back. What was your experience like from the moment that you contacted them or heard about them, right the way through until your tattoo was healed? Could it have been better? Now you've got a good understanding for what a tattoo experience was like, should be like, and how it can be improved. Being armed with this knowledge, I think, puts you ahead of the thousands of the people that are going to be applying for tattoo apprenticeships in your area. And as a mentor, if you come to me and you say, yes, I've got a tattoo and I know what the experience is like, and I know how it could be improved, and I know exactly what makes a tattoo experience good for somebody, it's a great conversation for me and you as a mentor and as an apprentice applicant to have on the day. And again, it gives me a window into whether you give a shit or not. How much empathy have you got for people? How much genuine interest have you got for telling somebody's story with a tattoo when you do become a full-time artist? So arming yourself with that essential knowledge right the way through from understanding the customer journey, plus all the equipment we need and the environment that we work in, will make you the ideal candidate for that apprenticeship. So you want a tattoo apprenticeship, and as a mentor, it's definitely going to sway my decision towards accepting you if you've already got a client base. So the audience that you want, your future clients, they're all online, and so should you be. This is so easy. All you're going to do is just start to document your journey. Start speaking about your intentions. You could just change your bio on Instagram to looking for a tattoo apprenticeship. It's that easy. And you start posting pictures and captions that communicate what your intentions are within the tattoo world. You start to do drawings and paintings and say, this would make a great tattoo. Now, for anyone online who starts seeing these, they're going to start being drawn towards you. You're going to find your people, and these are your future clients. Now, as a mentor, when you come in and you've already got an army of future clients, what does that do for me? It makes my life a lot easier when, at the point that you're ready to tattoo people months down the line, you've already got people. I don't have to find people for you. You're going to make my life easier, and that is definitely going to sway my decision to choosing you over someone who hasn't already built a client base. I'm sure you're already in WhatsApp groups and you're already in Facebook community groups and you've already got a phone full of contacts. What's wrong with just messaging all those people? Tell them what you're up to. I'm looking for a tattoo apprenticeship. I'm doing a lot of drawings. I want to be a tattoo artist, and I've begun my journey over on my Instagram, on my YouTube, on my Facebook. Do you want to just come over there and give us a follow and a like, comment on some of my stuff, let me know what you think, and start to build your own community of loyal fans. I remember when I first started tattooing, it was just all my friends. We didn't have Facebook and Instagram back then, so it was just phone numbers. I would just text people and say, I'm tattooing, do you want one? I've encouraged every apprentice that's started here to start doing this because they didn't already have that client base built up. Most of the applicants who come to the studio for an apprenticeship have not done this. You go on their social media accounts and it's just them with their cat or out with a girlfriend or something. Nothing tattoo related on there, maybe the odd drawing, but no caption indicating what their intentions are, saying, I'm looking for a tattoo apprenticeship. What do you think of this drawing? You want your audience to follow your journey. They want to see your progress. They actually want to support you. And then if you were to nurture this by engaging in the comments, replying to DMs, reaching out to anybody who's liked the picture, saying, did you like that drawing? Is there anything you'd like to see more of? You start to build a really good community. And as I keep saying, as a mentor, it sways my decision towards you as opposed to someone who hasn't done this. You can do this now. All you need to do is change the bio, change some of the words, change some of the highlights on your Instagram maybe, change the cover photo on your Facebook, change your profile picture, add some pictures of your drawings, add some pictures of you drawing, and in the captions, start asking questions to start conversations with this community of people who are following you. For example, Star Wars films come out, you draw a Baby Yoda, you ask in the caption, who loves Baby Yoda? You start having conversations, do you see what I mean? Start bringing people in. And to some degree, you start getting rid of people who follow you that are just sort of dead weight, that aren't interested in that journey. Either way, you end up coming to me on the day for your interview and you can present to me social media presence, future client base of a super engaged people who love you, your journey and your work. So let's fast forward. You've got the opportunity. You're definitely going to get it now you've watched this video. We're at the point where I want you to move from fake skins and drawing and cleaning the toilets, jokes, to tattooing real people. Now, without your own client base, without your own audience, I'm going to have to trust you so much that I'm going to send some of mine to you, or to some of the people that are coming through the studio. We're going to have to use them, and then we have to explain to them, this is an apprentice, the rates are cheap or even free in some instances. It would be so much more beneficial for you to have your own people. You will find in doing this, in nurturing this audience, in growing this community and engaging with them, even at this early stage, when you're ready to do your first tattoo, you'll have people queuing, ready for that first tattoo of you. They'll already trust you, which is a big win. You've got to trust the person who's going to mark your skin forever. So let's quickly talk about the platforms that you can put yourself on right now to get some attention and start building a community. You're probably already using these platforms, but let's start using them right. If your intentions are to be a tattooist, let's start behaving like one. So the first one is Facebook. Facebook is great for building communities. It's where conversations and recommendations happen over any other platform. You could post a picture of a drawing you've just done and put rate this out of 10. And the chances are you're going to get 50 comments of people rating it out of 10. And then you can start to engage with all these people in the comments. If someone said it was a 1, say, oh, no way, why do you think it's a 1? Do you understand? You can start having conversations and building a community, building an audience of loyal fans. Shares go quite a long way on Facebook as well. If you were to post something and you could just say, would you mind sharing this, please, because it would really help my growth. A lot of your friends and family that are on there are likely to share that, aren't they? But Facebook is a great tool for growing community. And it's also a place where you can start growing a page. You can start a business page on there with your name as a tattoo Tattoo Apprentice, and you can start firing people over there so you can engage with them within the business page. This is beneficial because it's not diluted by any of your personal views which are on your personal profile. Or in my case, when I first jumped on Facebook, it was just full of pictures of me on nights out. Not relevant to tattooing, but when I started my tattoo page, it is direct, it's intentional, it's just full of tattoos. All my best work, posts that ask questions and start conversations and build my community. The next platform, Instagram, it's a really, really good online portfolio. These days, it is quite difficult to beat the algorithms and get loads of organic reach on there. So what I use Instagram for is if I'm out talking with somebody or if my name gets referred to somebody, I just send them to the Instagram, because when they go on there, I've got this perfectly curated profile. It's got really good high-res images on there. When they land, they get an instant feel for who I am, what I'm about, what the standard of my work is. Nice short bio that says what I'm up to, some highlight reels that shows what's been going on behind the scenes and any little extra stuff. It's a great online portfolio, but don't be surprised if your community doesn't really grow there, because it's not so much a place where people hang around and talk. TikTok has destroyed people's attention spans and it's filtered across to Instagram, where it's become a scrolling thing. So personally, I just use Instagram as a really, really good, really useful online portfolio to show people my work. But still, if you're getting likes, you're getting comments and you're getting DMs, don't let them go. Speak to these people, because they will be drawn in and they will move across to Facebook maybe, and they definitely could be future clients. Now, TikTok is great for virality. You could drop a video of a drawing of Star Wars, let's use Star Wars again, at a point where a new Star Wars film comes out and that drawing goes viral and massive. You might get 1 million views on it, but realistically, how many of those are gonna convert to tattoo clients? Not many. But I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying do it for that reason. Do it to just get a massive reach on things. Cast a wide net, bring these people in and engage with the ones that you think would be interested. I get millions of views across my TikToks and only a very small percentage of those do come over, but I do convert them really, really well in the comments and the DMs, and I do get them to email me. If they are willing to travel or they are local, I do convert them into clients. Ultimately, TikTok is a very powerful tool for brand awareness and just getting a massive reach, casting that wide net and pulling the right demographic in. Last one, YouTube. It is great, but it's a massive time commitment. You need high quality, high engaging videos. You basically have to learn a brand new skill, and editing and videography. I think in the future it will work really, really well, unless you've already got these skills. But I do feel like your efforts at this stage would be best put into the previous social medias. But if you want to start a YouTube, you could even start a shorts account where you just rehash your TikToks and your Instagram reels onto YouTube shorts as well. It's not going to take much time to just repost them on there, and it will grow the account. And again, cast a wide net, engage in the comments, get people to follow your other accounts. Use it as a tool to just further grow that community. So after you've cast this wide net across all these social medias, a really useful tool that I use for years, and it's fantastic for converting clients and building a super fan base of people who definitely want what you provide, is to have an email capture on your website. So you can build a website really easy for minimal cost using things like Wix and Squarespace, where the templates are already there. You just put your photographs in and you can put an email capture in there. So you've cast this wide net across all these social medias. People come in to visit the link that should be in your bio, which is that website. These are the people that have crossed a few barriers now. And for them to put their email in there to say that they're interested in what you've got means you've got them. So you're going to show up and say, I've actually got 500 emails of people that are interested in a tattoo off me already, and I'm only just drawing. I'd be like, wow, this is going to be easy. You're mega proactive and you're mega popular already, and you've got super fans that are willing to come in and pay you for tattoos before you've even started. This apprenticeship is going to be efficient. I'm going to enjoy it, and I like you already. So the only other thing is that make sure that the aesthetics, that the content, that the captions and the bios and everything, and the copy on the website is professional. Remember, we're going into tattooing here. They're trusting you as a professional in the future to mark their skin for life. And when you're trying to impress me as a mentor, I'm trusting you to be in my studio marking other people's skin for life. But also make sure that it is congruent with you. Don't try and be somebody else. Don't be all eloquent in the copy if that's not how you want to be in person. It's really important to communicate who you are through the social medias, because you can then attract the correct demographic and not miscommunicate who you are, so that when they get there in person, they meet someone else. So the question is, at what point should you build this customer base? Dead easy. Now. Do it right now. When you finish this video, get straight onto your social medias, build the ones you've not got, alter the ones you have got, change the bios, get some better photographs on there, and start building that audience right away. The more preparation you can put into this, the more time, the more compounding effect you can put on this over time. If you apply in 2 weeks to a studio, from 2 weeks from now, you can already have people on your side, in your community, and being super fans for you. So don't delay, do it right now. You're now armed with a mega portfolio, essential knowledge, and you've got a client base. You're really valuable, but that's useless if you mess up the approach. Like I said, getting your foot through the door is the hardest part. So let's talk about exactly how to do that. Lining up an interview at a tattoo studio is difficult. Tattooing has been a closed book for so many years. It's usually who you know, friends recommending each other, everybody keeping secrets. And just to make it that much more difficult, tattoos are rarely looking for apprentices. They very, very rarely advertise, if ever at all. And of all the 11 apprentices that I've trained, I was never looking. They just turned up and they were outstanding. The difficult part here is getting past the reception and to the decision maker. If they've got a receptionist, the chances are they've been told a blanket no to anyone who applies for an apprenticeship because they're not looking. So to first get your application in front of the decision maker past the reception, you need to identify who the decision maker is. You can do that really easily through investigating through the social medias, having a look on the website. You can pretty much tell who the founder of that studio is or who the lead artist is who you would like to apprentice under. So once you've identified who the decision maker is, there are 5 contact methods that you can take. So now I'm going to walk you through exactly which one will definitely get in front of the decision maker and have the highest amount of impact so you can get your foot through the door. So I've made this banging diagram up to show you how impactful and what the chances of contact are on the different contact methods that you can use to approach studios. This is really, really interesting. And this has come from my 16 years of tattooing, 12 years of studio ownership, and over a decade of training tattoo apprentices. So the first one and the most common one, believe it or not, is way down here. And that is an email. People send an email, couple of images, link to their Instagram saying, I want a tattoo apprenticeship, look how good at drawing I am. That has got a very, very low contact metric, okay? And a very low impact because, first of all, my receptionist sieves through the emails to give them out to the artists in this studio. And she's been told I'm not looking for apprentices. So what she does straight away is just delete them. So you're not going to contact the decision maker, are you? No. And it's a very low impact on the studio. The chances of success are extremely low. That is the most common one that people do. No wonder they all fail, right? The next one is a phone call. Now, a phone call, you've got somebody on the phone. So it's not just an email that's just been left for someone to maybe answer. You've actually grabbed somebody. So it's got a slightly higher contact, but the impact is not as effective as it could be. It's more impactful than the email because you've got yourself a little bit further, but it still only sits around here. And as you can see, this being the worst and this being the best up here, it's still pretty low because I've told the receptionist no. And even if you've not got a receptionist, if I'm the decision maker, the lead artist, the business owner, if I do the emails, I'm still just going to go, nah, because I'm not looking. And the idea behind this course is to put yourself in front of the decision maker, get your foot through the door as the ideal candidate and become irresistible and memorable, right? So you first need to break this barrier, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. The next one is way more effective. This one is about up here, and that's walking in. That's more impactful because not only do you get to speak to somebody, the receptionist. You may insist that is the lead artist there. Can I please talk to them for 2 minutes? You might just catch them stood in reception. You might just get them. It is more impactful and likely to contact the person. But the reason that's not right up there is because I might be busy. I'm probably going to be busy. I might actually be annoyed that you're distracting me. I've got a client, or I've got to be somewhere, or I'm leaving and I'm not interested. Okay, this is a reflection of what most studios are going to be like. Like, sorry, no, I don't have time for this. You can't just show up. It's better than those, in my opinion, but it's still not great, all right? We're going to move right up into the two that are very impactful and have a very high chance of contact with the decision maker. Right up in the nosebleeds is a letter. Now, the reason a letter has a very high, in fact, maximum contact is because it gets put in front of the decision maker. And if you get a letter, you're going to open it, aren't you? Especially if it's handwritten on the front and not just a computer type. I'm definitely opening that. Now, as you'll notice, it's not full on the impact scale. It's still off a little bit. Now, that's because I'm not blown away by a letter. And to sit and have to read something is a little bit of a chore. And like I said, most studio owners, lead artists, are busy, and they might be opening this letter just with a coffee while they sat there trying to do something, and it might just get shoved to one side. So that's why that's not fully impactful, albeit much more impactful than those common ones. So you're asking which is the best. There is one that sits at the top of the scale there, yeah? The superstar. Now that is a package. The package is more impactful than a letter because it's more exciting. We all order things from Amazon and from eBay, and when it comes, we're like, oh, I've got a present. It's like a present's come through the post. Now imagine something comes through the post that isn't from Amazon. You're very, very intrigued, aren't you? So that is maximum contact and maximum impact, sending a package to a studio. So now let's go on to what you should put in it. So now we know that a package is the most impactful and the most likely to land in the decision maker's lap. So here's exactly what you should include in there. First of all, your portfolio should be in there. And we've already discussed what that needs to look like. Secondly, the covering letter that describes you and your intentions, the value you can add to the business. And again, the template has been attached to this course as a PDF, so just fill that in. And lastly, add a bit of flavor to that package. This is all about you and your personality. People love snacks. People love things like retro sweets. Throw some love hearts in there, or some Parma violets or something. We're here to stand out, remember. We're here to be memorable. So let's play this out. I get to work on a Tuesday morning. My receptionist says, there's a package here for you. I'm intrigued because it doesn't look like the regular Amazon packages that always show up for me. So I grab it and I take it to either my office or my tattoo station with a coffee, and I want to open it. I want to know what's in there. When I open it, there's a banging portfolio. There's a very intriguing covering letter that impresses me, or some nice sweets or a cookie or something that goes with my coffee. See what I mean? You're playing on my emotions here. You're impressing me right away. And even if I wasn't interested, only an arsehole would not at least reply saying, look, nice try, this was very impressive, but I just can't take you on. No matter what the outcome, you've got your foot through the door. Your package has landed in front of the decision maker and you've impressed them. They might not want to take you on right away. They might not have any space, but they might want to take you on in the future if something does come up, or they might want to get you in to at least give you some really good advice, some feedback on the package, or worst case, they do ignore you, they are a knobhead, and you've just learnt something that you don't want to work at that studio because they're rude. So no matter what happens, in this case, it's a win and you've learnt from it. Now, after the package, I would probably leave it 2 weeks. If you've heard nothing back, make second contact. Try and find out where that package is. Have they opened it? What do they think about it? Don't panic too much because artists, mentors, business owners are busy people. It could have just been put to one side to deal with later and forgotten about. They might still be deliberating over whether to make the decision or not because they weren't looking for an apprentice, but this fantastic person who's outstanding has just shown up and they're still trying to maybe make space for you and make time to actually get you in for an interview. You never know. So leave it a couple of weeks, make contact. Again, it's a yes and it's a yes, great, or it's a no and you've learned and you can move on. Either way, it's all good. So now you're armed with a mega portfolio, you've got essential knowledge, a client base, and you've approached tattoo studios like no one else. You've got your application, which is insanely good, in front of the decision maker, and they want you to come in. It's good news. Now I'm going to teach you about the mindset to have when going there. So you've done a great job of getting your foot through the door, well done, but it's not over the line yet, is it? I want you to understand the mindset that you need to be in when you're sat in front of that mentor, business owner, lead artist, whoever they may be. First of all, you need to understand that this whole thing is a value exchange. Too many applicants have come to my studio saying, here you go, there's my artwork, can I have an apprenticeship? And that's the end of it. They've not realized that I'm going to need something back. I've accrued 16 years of knowledge and you just want that from me. No, you need to come understanding that I'm going to give you something and you're going to give me something in return. And what you're going to give me in return is you're going to become a valuable asset to my business. I'm running a business here. The only reason I'm going to train you is so that you can amplify the income and the reputation of my studio. Otherwise, why would I bother? Because you're going to take a lot of time from me and a lot of energy and a lot of thoughts, and I'm responsible for you as well. The whole time you're in this studio tattooing somebody, you're under my roof, you're under my license, you're under my insurance. So you need to really understand that you're going to have to add value to this business. That's why a lot of apprenticeships will have you sweeping the floors, cleaning the toilets, boiling the kettle all day, making coffees. It's because you need to add value first. Do not approach this conversation, do not approach this interview on the take, because I'm going to sniff that out straight away and it's just an instant no. So I want you to sit in the mindset, in that conversation of how can I add value to your business in exchange for the value that you're going to give me. So when you go for your interview at studios, maybe ask questions like this. What can I do for the first few months for you? How can I use my current skills to help your business out for the first phase? And it might just be as simple as working on reception for a little bit, or helping artists set up and break down stations. You are then adding value to them by helping them, saving them time, but you're also in the mix and learning all the processes. It's a value exchange. Don't ask questions like, how long is it going to be before I get to tattoo someone? Don't rush, because the mentor is going to sniff you out right away. Another thing I want you to understand is that work ethic pulls talent towards it. And what I mean by that is you could be the most talented artist on the planet, but if you've got low work ethic, I don't want you in this studio. Your work ethic is going to pull your talent towards it, not the other way around. Do not approach studios thinking just because you're insanely talented at art that you're going to get the opportunity, because it's going to take a lot of time and energy to bulk up your work ethic. Do not feel entitled by your artistic abilities, because I've had applicants in the past that had subpar artistic abilities but massive amounts of work ethic, and they have been my strongest apprentices and have gone on to having long, fulfilling full-time careers, and often left here to go and open their own studios, which is a testament to their work ethic. Imagine a frequency diagram, okay? Your work ethic's up there and your talent might be a bit lower. This work ethic frequency can attract the talent, and they're operating on that high frequency up there. If it was the other way around and the work ethic was low and the talent was high, the work ethic would pull the talent down, and then you are then operating on a frequency of failure instead of success up there. But just remember that hard work beats talent every time. I love the last one. It's confidence and nerves. Some people are going to go into their interview nervous, but it might miscommunicate that maybe they don't want to be there, or they're just socially awkward. If you are going into an interview with a potential mentor at a tattoo studio and you're nervous because of how awesome it is, it would be a good idea just to maybe mention it. It's really easy. Just say, look, I'm really sorry, but I'm really excited about this. I've wanted this my whole life, yeah? And I'm just a bit nervous. So if I seem a bit off, if I start sweating or looking at the door, it's just because I'm nervous, and it's because I want it so much. And that's going to give you so much more confidence just by owning the nerves. And it's going to communicate to your potential mentor that you're open and honest and that you do want this really, really bad. But you can also combat nerves by being super prepared. I've taught you loads of stuff already in this course. Review it and review it and review it. Play it over in your head. Visualize going into that studio. Visualize what it might look like, what it might smell like. Maybe even just stick your head in if it's just a local one. Go and have a look. Have a look at the social medias. Familiarize yourself with the people, with the faces, with the work that they do. Because if you visualize this whole thing and you've played the whole thing over in your mind once, it's not going to be as hard the second time when you really go in there. So you can combat nerves, firstly by owning them and just being open and honest. I'm nervous because I really, really want this. Second, just be super, super prepared. All right, this is getting juicy now. We're right at the end. You've got yourself through the door of a tattoo studio. You've done what 99% of the other people have been unable to do. You're armed with a banging portfolio. You've got all the essential knowledge. You've got a client base that's slowly building in the background anyway. And you know exactly what kind of mindset to have. So here is what I want you to do on the day. Firstly, just implement everything you've learned, recap it, review everything time and time again. This is going to help your confidence. It's going to boost it, and it's also going to reduce the nerves because you're prepared. You've heard the phrase fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. Yeah, it's that. So just recap everything, review, and just be ready for it. Be fired up. Remember, this is what you've always wanted. And if you've tried before and failed, you're not going to fail now because you've got all this knowledge now. I also want you to make a good impression on these people. Remember, take the whole tattoo thing out of it. It's just another human being. And just like if you were in a coffee shop, stood in the queue and you said hello to somebody, you want to make a positive impression on that person, don't you? You want to be memorable. And in this case, you're asking this person through this value exchange to invest a lot of time and energy into you. And they're not going to do that if it's not a positive interaction. Let's say, for example, it's a month or so before they can take you on, or maybe they're not taking on, but they just wanted to talk to you. Because I've had this. I've said no to somebody and I had to let them leave. But 6 weeks later, the guy was still on my mind because he was memorable because of how much of a positive interaction I had with him. So I ended up ringing him. How are you getting on, mate? Can I help you in any way? Even though I can't take you on. And he said, oh, no, not really had any luck. And I ended up taking him on anyway. He still works here. He's been here for 4 years and he's full-time, killing it. All because of the positive impression he made on me, and he was memorable. And on being memorable, be memorable for the right reasons. Don't like burp or fart or swear too much, you know. You want to be memorable for the right reasons. This guy that left me and I ended up calling him, he was memorable for the right reasons. I thought he's a really good soul and I'd love to have him in here just because of the way he presented himself, the quality of his work and that. I didn't remember him 6 weeks down the line for being fucking rude and then give him the opportunity. Just be memorable for the right reasons. A good hack for this is to just make people feel good. Their name is the most important word in the English language to them, so never forget that. Just have a good conversation. If they've got a photograph of them and their kid stood next to a Porsche on the desk, go, oh, that's a nice Porsche. What do you do with it? What were your kid at weekends? You go out driving. Have a good conversation with them. Remember, it's a human being. And if you make that potential mentor feel valued, feel important, feel like you've prepared, feel respected, they're never going to forget you. There could be applicants out there. Let's say, for example, a tattoo studio has put an advert out for apprentices. They're going to get 1,000 entries that day, and all of them have got the equal amount of ability and work ethic. But then for some reason, you were just more memorable in a positive way. You've got the edge over them because a week or two later, the rest of them have been forgot. Well, you haven't. I failed to get an apprenticeship because on the day I wasn't memorable. I remember just walking in with some drawings that I'd done in college. I said, can I have an apprenticeship? They said no when I walked out. How is that memorable to anybody? I did no preparation. I wasn't having a good conversation with the owner. I didn't even make an appointment. I just walked in and looked over his shoulder and said no. And I'll tell you how unmemorable I was. About a year later, I went in to get a tattoo off this guy on my chest, and behind him, my name and number was still on the pinboard behind his head, and he didn't even recognize that it was me sat in the chair. So don't be unmemorable like me. On the day, Be conscious about your body language. Nerves may make you act a certain way. You might want to stick your hands in your pockets because you're a bit nervous or you've never been here before. Or sometimes they'll look around somebody and not look them in the eyes, or even look at the exit because they can't wait to just get out of this uncomfortable situation. What I want you to do is just relax. Be conscious of your body language. You're shaking hands. You're being animated because you're telling this person how much you love to draw. You're not clamming up. You're not tensing up, because that's going to make me think that either you're a bit awkward or that you're just not comfortable in this scenario. Like I said, if you are nervous, you can own it by telling them you're nervous because you want it so much. At home, rehearse being relaxed. If you need to just speak to somebody, like role play this interview with somebody, then go for it and just feel flowy and feel relaxed about it. Just don't clam up, don't look at the exit, and do look at their eyes when you're talking to them. Also on the day, be positive. I know this is like a really cliche thing to say, like, oh, be happy and positive. But I'm talking about your language and the way you are, your demeanor. So you might present a drawing and the eye of the drawing could be better. Now, you could say, oh, that eye's shit. I'm not very good at drawing eyes. Or you've given them some fake skins and they've not took too well. I'm shit at lining. That's a really negative statement, isn't it? And that negativity is sticky. Then when you leave, the negativity is stuck to them. You could flip it. You can reframe things more positively by just saying, can you see how that line has not took too well there? I definitely need to work on that. So I'm going to be putting a bit more effort into doing that. Or I can see that eye could be just a little bit better. So I've been drilling that at home and there's room for improvement there. It's the same statement, but it's just more positive. You could also talk about your career and what you want from tattooing. Something negative could be, tattooists earn loads of money, don't they? That's a negative, sticky statement. And when they go home, they're going to remember you for the wrong reasons. You could say, I can see how fulfilling tattooing is for people like yourself. Oh man, I just want to be part of it. I just really want to be part of this world. I want to express myself through it. And to be honest, this is the best studio around here and I want to be a part of it and I want to help amplify your reputation. What a positive statement that is. I'm going to go home and remember you. You've just massaged my ego and made me feel good. And if you're being genuinely honest, I just like you more and you are more likely to get this opportunity than anyone else who walked through the door that day. It's really important to show genuine interest in what the mentor is saying. And when I say genuine interest, I don't mean fake it. Let's say, for example, they're talking about the future of their business and you feel like, oh, it's nothing to do with me, but it is something to do with you if you think about it deep and long term, and you can show genuine interest in something like that. Oh, really? Tell me more about that. Where is it you want to go? Because it is of your interest, because he might be going in a direction that you don't want to go in. Whatever he's talking about. If he wants to talk about, oh, I like to go sailing at weekends. Oh, really? What's that like then? Is that good? Like, how long have you been doing that? And be genuinely interested in what they are saying. And if you can't be genuinely interested in it, don't delve into it, because being fake is just inauthentic and it just stinks, and we can tell, oh no, wait, that's great, I might try sailing once, but just don't go there. There's a great hack for when somebody's talking about themselves. Remember, you're in a conversation with a human. I know they're a tattoo mentor, but they're also a human. They might tell you that they've got kids in this interaction. They might tell you what their goals are for the business, to maybe open a studio in Dubai, or they want to win loads of awards at conventions. A really good hack for connecting with another human being is listening carefully, be genuinely interested, and then repeating back. So let's say, for example, I love camping at weekends. So if I said to you in the conversation, oh yeah, I've got this and I've got a tattoo tomorrow, and then we're off camping at weekends with my family. When you leave, when this interview is over, if you leave and say, oh, by the way, have a great weekend camping, I've just clocked you. I've just understand that you listen to me and you're genuinely interested in me. You're not just here for the opportunity. You're not here on the take. You give a shit about me too, which means you're going to listen to your clients properly, which means you're going to help amplify my reputation of my studio. You're going to be an asset to this business. So listen carefully, be genuinely interested, and then repeat back. There's an overarching theme here to what you should do on the day. And it's make me like you. You got to be memorable. You got to be positive. You got to leave a lasting impression. You got to listen to me. You got to respect me. You got to add value to me. You've got to make me like you as a person. Because like I've said before, you could be the best artist on the planet. But if I don't like you, I'm not going to give you the opportunity. And neither is anyone else who's worth any salt, right? Make me like you. You could approach me with subpar drawings, as people have. But I really liked them as people. And I invested in them. And they are all still here. And some more quick fire things to make me like you are stay in the room. I don't mean don't walk out. I mean keep your attention in the room. Don't go on your phone. Turn it off. Mentally stay in this room. You're going to be here for about 30 minutes. It's not difficult to just keep your attention on me and on this opportunity for that 30 minutes, is it? Names, as I've said, their name is the most important word in the English language to them. So remember it. Even remember the names of the team. If their team names are on the socials, you can find that out. Be memorable to me and to the team. My receptionist is my mum. I trust her with my life. So if you're memorable to her, let's say, for example, I've interviewed 6 people and then in 2 weeks they go, oh, what about that little blonde girl? Like she was really nice. That's going to sway the decision your way. So you want to be memorable to the team by remembering their names and leaving a lasting positive impression on them as well if you do interact with them. The last thing I want you to do on the day is leave something behind. My studio is absolutely packed with artwork and prints that I really like and that I've collected and curated over the years, or tattooists love stickers. So you could, if you've got really nice artworks made up, you could make some stickers, you could make some prints and just leave it as a gift behind, along with, if they ask, your portfolio and your covering letter. But what I'm saying is leave a gift behind for them. Now, although no apprentice has ever done that before, I think it's really good, and here's why. Because we had a guest artist here, and at the end of his term that he did with us, a week, he went back to New Zealand and he gave us a print of one of his artworks and we put it on the wall because it was good. That was about 10 years ago. Every time I walk past that thing, I think about that guy. He was a nice guy. I won't mind him back. If you gave him an art print, for example, and they put it up on the wall, every day they walk past it, they're going to see you, they're going to remember the memorable, positive experience they had with you. And even if you didn't get the opportunity this time, next time it's yours. If not, they'll be thinking about making space for you. You've become irresistible by being a positive person with value to add to that business. So now you're armed with all the knowledge that you need to become the ideal candidate for a tattoo apprenticeship. Please don't just watch this and then just half-ass it. Go through it again, watch it again, implement, recap, review. Go and implement everything that I've taught you, and I genuinely hope that it really does work out for you. You're going to learn from all the hundreds of applicants that have applied to this studio and failed. This round is called Don't Do This. Really important that you don't do these 8 things, all right? The first one is don't be late. Not even 2 minutes late. I do not want to entertain your excuses of why you were late. Understand, tattoo mentors, business owners, lead artists, are busy anyway. You've done a great job of getting your foot through the door and then you don't show up on time. Listen, we've made an appointment. I've stuck to it, so you better stick to it. If you are late, you're not going to get the opportunity and the next person is, so don't be late. And there's actually a saying that I live by. If you're on time, you're late. So just be early. The next one is don't be entitled. Listen, you come to this opportunity on the take or feeling like I've got this and I don't have to work hard for it because I'm sick at art. You're not going to get it. You're going to stink. And I don't want you in my building. Nobody likes entitled people. But what we do like is people who have the skills but are then willing to work to develop them skills to get even better. You walk in here thinking you already deserve this opportunity, you've already lost it. Number 3 is many studios. I want to feel special as the person who is going to be investing years of time and energy into you. So don't come in here saying that you've applied to 10, you've got interviews at 4 today, and I'm just number 3. That doesn't make me feel special, does it? I would advise applying to 1 at a time because then it doesn't mess with your head or open too many options up. So when you do get one, you don't know whether to make the decision or not in case another one's better. Just do 1 at a time. But if you have applied to many as a blanket application, just don't let the person in the interview know that. Number 4 is take without giving. I've told you about the value exchange. It's very, very important. A relationship with a partner, a relationship with a dog is a value exchange. Everything in life is a value exchange. If you come here on the take, I'm going to sniff it out. And I'm going to say no. And if you come on the take and you've managed to just get around me through the interview and fake it, it's not going to be long before this relationship just doesn't work out, because you can't keep that up forever. So never come to one of these opportunities for an apprenticeship thinking you're just going to take without giving. Number 5, don't do the least amount of work. We as humans like to take the path of least resistance. You are not going to do that in this case, because there are hundreds of other people, young, budding artists with loads of energy, who are fighting for this same opportunity. If a tattoo studio was to apply for apprentice, imagine how many people are going to apply for that. You need to fight for this opportunity. Just emailing a link to your social media is the least amount of work. And because you've done the least amount of work, no one gives a shit about you. We don't want you in our business because you're going to do the least amount of work. We want people in our business that are going to work hard and do the most amount of work, because those are the type of people we want in our studios. Number 6 is don't be doubtful. We're looking for confident people. You are marking somebody's skin for life. This is a very, very unique industry, right? And to do that, you can't be doubtful. You need to have confidence in yourself to whatever degree your technical abilities are at the time. Here, the doubtful voice may speak up. You're not good enough for this. You're not going to get the opportunity. You're not going to be able to get there on time, or whatever it's going to say. My advice to you here is to have an answer for this doubtful voice all the time. You're not going to get this opportunity. The answer is, yes, I am. You're not good enough to work at that studio. The answer is, not yet, but I will be. You see where I'm going? Don't be doubtful. Flip it around and be confident. Number 7 is your personal views. Mostly for social media. People love a bit of virtue signaling these days, don't they? And they love to express their personal views all the time. You are a human being. You are free to do and say as you please. But understand, if you've got, for example, an interview with me on a Tuesday, and on a Monday, I just have a little look on your socials to see what you're up to, and you're virtue signaling or banging on about some political thing and arguing with people in the comments, I don't want that mess. I don't want you in my building, because it signifies that these conversations and these views pushed on social media are also going to be pushed in the studio and cause drama, and nobody wants drama. Be a professional. Your personal views belong in your personal life, not in your work life, and not in my studio. Number 8, the most important one. And the reason this is the most important, and I know because it's what I did when I was looking for an apprenticeship, do not give up. I took one no and gave up. And as a result, I struggled for years and years and years teaching myself how to tattoo with terrible tutorial DVDs, and I made a lot of permanent mistakes on people. You're probably going to get no's. There's studios that just don't want apprentices, that don't train apprentices, never have. There's studios that just don't have space for apprentices, right? You're going to get no's. Just learn from them. Why did I get the no? And then move on. Do not give up. The reason you've bought this course, you've watched the course, you've built everything in the background, and you're ready to approach studios is because this is what you were meant to do. You're supposed to be a tattooist. I don't want you to give up. I believe that you can do it. I believe you are proactive because you bought a course. You've already took the step that thousands of other people are not going to do. So now, get out into the world and do not give up.